What is up, everybody? I am Ant, and you're checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. And I'm joined by my new friend and new co-host for the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. Introduce yourself, my friend.
My name's Chris Morales, longtime pro wrestling fan. Very excited to do this. Happy to be here with Anthony. So I'm
He,
excited.
he smiles a lot. I think your nickname is gonna be like, what's a wrestler that fucking smiles a lot? I don't fucking know.
No.
There's like nobody.
Jim, I mean, if you pay attention when Jimmy Uso, he laughs all the time. He's always smiling in the background.
All right, so you want me
Yeah.
to call you Jimmy
If you
Uso?
if you
Okay,
look
all
if you
right.
look closely during the segments, he's in the back covering. He always has a smile on his face. Or
He's like,
Sammy.
I promise you guys, I'm just like Jimmy Uso. Trust me.
I like Jimmy
Yeah.
Uso better than Jay though.
I feel you, man. Listen, I don't know if you and I might have some disagreements because I kind of have a little thing against the Usos sometimes. I'm a big
Oh
fan of their
man.
wrestling ability, but we'll
I
talk.
just yeah.
But
I just think the way they came up because they were a really like mid card tag team when they first like in the back like 2013 like when they had like those bronze colored titles.
yep.
That's when they first were making their come up, and they just look so much better from when they did back then. Really improved, and I enjoyed
Yeah.
watching them improve.
I remember when they had the fucking dreads and then they
And
moved
then the
on to
face
the
paint,
fucking face paint. Yeah.
that was awesome.
Samoa, what Samoa? Like it's fucking really weird.
It was cool
But
though.
it was cool. It was cool. Like it was cool to see them show, their heritage or whatever. But um, we are here to cover. I don't know what to call this. This is a work in progress, but it is the top 20 wrestling pay-per-views of all time. Now, these pay-per-views span in different eras. There's some from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, possibly today. I don't know. We'll see. But there's also from different companies. So WCW, WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling is on there. I know there's a Wrestle Kingdom on there for sure, which I'm excited to see because I've never really watched one in full.
Yeah.
But you are checking out episode number 20, the number 20 pay-per-view. And I gave a hint in the past podcast saying that, it was a very woo. Do you do a good woo? Can you give me a woo?
Woo!
Yes. I could give one, but I think I might scare the neighbors. There you go. I get very intense with mine. It's
Yeah,
fun.
if you go to WWE shows before they start the show, everyone does it.
Oh, dude, I got a video to show you. We went to SmackDown and my fiance is a jerk. I was getting food and there was this lady having like really trouble getting down the stairs. And she's just like just being a nasty bitch to her husband
Oh
who's
my
like, do you want
God.
to sit? No, I don't want to get down. Like she's just being nasty. It's funny.
That was happening to me.
So like meanwhile, as she's doing that, you hear like all this stuff in the background and she's like struggling. Like it's so the reason why we did Woo is because Ric Flair is a prominent figure in this pay-per-view. And this pay-per-view is WWF Royal Rumble 1992. Dang.
Long time
What
ago.
a year. I think George H.W. Bush was still president.
Was he?
The first one, not the second. Um, I wasn't born yet.
I
I would
was not
come,
either.
I would come a year later. Well, a year and a couple months later. But this was a for me. I was excited to see this pay per view because I've seen the Royal Rumble match, not in full, but I've seen like the beginning many times. But I haven't really seen any of the other matches, so I was going into this like a virgin,
Me too.
right? Touched for the very first time, and I don't know. We're gonna decide if we liked it or not. That's what she said.
That's what she
Um,
said.
there you go. I knew I liked you, Christian. So we're gonna start off covering just sort of the basics. We have some notes about some facts on maybe some stuff that you guys might not know about this particular Rumble, but we're gonna start covering just the pay-per-view. So the pay-per-view is live in Albany, New York, which is cool. I'm not too far. We're both like sort of like, you're not really, is Philadelphia, well, is that tri-state or like what are
I
we?
don't know. Well, I'm in Pennsylvania, so
Is
Albany, New
that New
York.
England?
No, that's I'm so good in geography in high school and I can't remember. I think it's the Northeast.
Okay, okay,
And if I'm sorry, if correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, but I think it's Northeast. I'm I would say I'm very very far from Albany, New York, because it is upstate, uh the capital of New York. So I'm probably like two, maybe I can get to the city in like 2 hours, but it'd probably take another like 3 hours to get up there. So
okay, okay.
really really far from me.
See, for me, the same because I'm like it takes me 2 hours to get to Times Square
Yeah.
or wherever the fuck, whatever that place is called. What is it
Yeah,
called? Grand
Manhattan.
Central. Good there.
Manhattan. Yeah.
And then upstate, good luck. So yeah, probably the same thing. But we tri-state people though, we have that tri-state connection, right? Kind of
Yes,
like
we
that
do.
northeast tri. Yeah, see. So this is taking place in that area. I'll be New York, upstate. My genius friend over here who knows about the cities and states and all that fun stuff, geography. So speaking of geography, our first match contains people called the Orient Express, which is a really great um name. Nowadays we live with people who are very offended by everything. I don't really, I don't know. I mean, I'm not Asian, so I can't really judge. Uh, but I do understand people feel like it was kind of rude. So it's basically where are they, Japanese? Like I don't know what's the team
I
consist.
think I think so.
Yeah, I think it's I think what's the dude's name? It's like um oh gosh. There's what's that guy's name? He was ended up being in East Asia. Tanaka's in there.
T-
And I
I know
think
Tanaka. I think it was Pat. Oh man,
yeah, you're right, totally. It's
Pat
Pat Tanaka,
Tanaka and I can't, I don't know his first name, but I think his
Sato,
last name's Satada.
Saito,
Yes,
Sakata,
yes.
whatever. Okay, tomato. They're with Mr. Fuji, and they're taking on the new foundation, which is a
Wow.
team of Owen Hart and I was about to say Kofi Kingston, Coco Beware, Coco Kofi.
Go go.
So I'm just gonna go over like some highlights of the match, and then Chris, should I call you Chris or Christian?
Doesn't matter to me,
Doesn't
dude.
matter.
Does not
As
matter
long
to
as I
me.
don't call you asshole, right? That's what I tell everyone.
Yes, as long.
Cool. All right. So Chris, I'll throw it to you to get your thoughts and your take and if you have anything you want to add. So basically the match starts in Owen Hart springboards and nails a Hurricane Rana and gets a 2 count. Tanaka runs into Jim Neidhart and Neidhart nails an Alabama slam and Owen nails a flying elbow, which gets a 2 count. Neidhart nails a double clothesline and Owen with a double flying cross body with another 2. Owen nails his infamous spin kick, and that gets a 2. Mr. Fuji then nails Owen Hart with his cane, and Tanaka chokes Owen. That dastardly Mr.
I rewatched it last night, and that part had me really chuckling.
That
That was so funny.
jokester.
That was so funny.
Um, by the way, I always never understood like if he's Japanese, why is his name Mr. Fuji?
I don't know. It kind of confused me. The same thing why they did the whole Yokozuna when they had his whole gimmick when he was Japanese. You want to be honest? I only found out recently he was Samoan. I did not know he was related to Rikishi. Because the whole gimmick was Japanese. I thought
Yep.
he.
You
So
thought he was
it
really
was kind of like
Japanese. I
I
love
really
it.
thought he was Japanese. Yes, and then
He's
I
fighting
saw
for the country.
heard a Rikishi interview and he was like my brother Yokozuna. I was like, so he's Samoan?
Yeah. Yep.
So
That
it's
the
kind of like it
Samoan
kind of that
dynasty.
reminded me of that.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what Fuji's real name is. It's probably like Harold. So the Orient Express then continue to choke Owen Hart across the ring ropes, and then Tanaka hits a super kick to Owen and gets a 2. Owen nails a crucifix roll up and gets another 2 count. A lot of back and forth. Owen dives onto the Orient Express outside, and then the new foundation nail a rocket launcher to Tanaka, and the new foundation are your winners. I thought it was a pretty decent match. I wasn't expecting that from 1992. In the sense of like Owen being, his ability was so good even back then. But let me throw it to you, man. What did you think of this match?
So as soon as I saw Jim Neidhart and Owen Hart walk out, it. I feel like they could have done something with the Hart Dynasty as their gimmick because, correct me if I'm wrong, Owen Hart and Bret Hart were doing the Hart Foundation before he ended up doing his own thing with the Intercontinental Championship run. So
Well,
I
you mean Neidhart, right?
yes, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
good. You're good. I'm
So
wrong with you. I got you.
so I just feel like they could have came out to a Hart Dynasty wearing the pink leather, the black and pink, for me, I feel like they could have came out to that. It would have fit them more. But man, Owen Hart just looked great out there. It was one more of his younger days. He looked great. Same thing with Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Looked sharp. They were both. I thought they were dominating the match throughout most of it, and then there was parts of the match where Orient Express. I was like, oh, Orient Express is gonna make a comeback, and then I was happy to see the results of the new foundation
What
team.
about their fucking outfits, man? I mean, holy.
I did. That's what I mean.
I think my thought on it is that like I feel like they were trying to be different because the '90s, a lot of color and
Yeah.
like, weird. But like, yeah, I feel like a lot of fans would probably get more behind it like, if they did the whole like you said the pink and black sort of like legacy because it doesn't take a moron to know that Owen Hart is Brett's brother. So
No,
I mean you would
exactly.
be able to put two and two together for that. Uh, but again, a missed opportunity. But still decent. I mean, I feel like I don't even know how long this tag team of Neidhart and Owen lasts. Um,
I
but
don't
what's
think
cool
it
for me
lasted
though to
too
think
long.
about is later on in '94, you see Jim Neidhart ends up helping out Owen Hart in his quest to take on his brother. And it's cool to kind of see like this is where they got that from, that they initially were a tag team. It's kind of cool to see the history.
No, absolutely. And especially when it's I feel like when it's more family, it's just way cooler to see the history. Like Bloodline, for example, they're killing it right now, the whole family thing. So back then, it made the storylines, it made everything more organic. Like when Brett and Owen had the match, I mean, it was just a different feeling. I watched it. Obviously, I wasn't born for it, but I've watched it numerous of times, and I can feel the storyline from it. So
Yep.
it was very good stuff, man. Owen Hart, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Owen. I love Owen,
Same
man.
thing. Same thing with Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Oh yeah, rest in peace, Jim. Sorry, Jim Neidhart.
I
Rest in
forgot.
peace, man. You are so fucking awesome, and you kicked ass, and you
He
are a
did kick
fucking
ass. He was a
bomb.
badass dude.
So rest in peace, both of y'all.
And
Um,
Owen Hart, man, that was just a tragedy.
yes. Um, I hope no one else is dead. Do you think Tanaka's alive?
I,
I
I'm
don't want to.
curious to find that out. I will. I need to
I
know
just want
that
to make
right
sure that
now.
we're, making sure that God's not mad at any of us, Chris. We're trying to keep it good here at the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. While you do that, I'm gonna get ready to gear you up. We have the Intercontinental Champion, the Mountie, being interviewed backstage. I do want to add a quick little fact here while I can jump in. So Bret Hart was the Intercontinental Champion. However, he lost it to the Mountie in I think your area, wasn't it like Hershey, Pennsylvania, something like that. And the reason why was I have my little notes here was that Bret Hart thought his contract with WWE was up, and so WCW had reached out
Mm-hmm.
a guaranteed contract, and they wanted Bret to potentially show up at Clash at the Champions, which was 2 nights after the Royal Rumble with the Intercontinental title. However, his contract rolled over, and he couldn't give a notice, so Bret, ended up winning the title back at WrestleMania 8. But he would have competed if not for WCW. What do you
Imagine
think?
that.
What do you think would have happened if Bret went to WCW in '92? Holy shit!
Oh my God. I think WCW would have took over. And I don't. Listen. You have all the other talent. I understand WWF had amazing talent.
Mhm.
If you look at the beginning before the Rumble starts, 1992 Rumble starts, you see everybody that's going to be in the Royal Rumble. So you are there. You already have a amazing roster. But Bret Hart, as popular as he was during that time, especially the Canadian fan base, who back then it's WWF. You want to work for WWF if you want to be a pro wrestler, no matter what. That's just the top company. Um, but if you take your top superstar, which Bret Hart was at the time, and you take him, that's like putting Roman Reigns to AEW. You take your best star, you put him to WCW. WCW now WCW is a legit competitor to WWF because they took their best star.
Mhm. And
I
add on
I
top
think
of that, the
WCW
title.
like taking exactly. I could have.
Mm.
That's what if MJF does that in
Right? I
2024
mean,
takes it to WWE? That would have been wow. Taking the Intercontinental.
mm,
I couldn't imagine what Vince McMahon would have done.
mhm.
I
And it
couldn't.
also makes you sort of not, I don't want to say understand, but I mean, in '97, when Bret had an issue with dropping the, not that somebody they had an
Yeah.
issue dropping the title, but that he didn't like the way he was going to drop it. That's why Vince kind of might have, thought differently because he already had a plan to leave. So, Let's talk about this match, though. The Intercontinental title is on the line. The champion, the Mountie, with Jimmy Hart defending against Hot Rod, Roddy Piper. I'm going to throw it to Chris to cover this because you actually really enjoyed this match.
Yes, I really enjoyed this match. I thought changing hands the Intercontinental Championship at the Royal Rumble was very, very good. But if we backtrack about 2 days before the Royal Rumble, WWF did a house show where they basically took the Intercontinental title off Bret Hart and they gave it. Who was Piper's opponent at the Rumble?
The Mountie.
Yes, yes. So they gave it to the Mountie at a
I'm a
live event.
Mountie.
I'm a Mountie. They gave it to him 2 days before the Rumble started, which changing the title at a live event, that's crazy. They did that 2 years later, before the 1994 SummerSlam with Shawn Michaels and Diesel. They did this, so they've done that, and I believe they've done that before. I can't remember off the top of my head, but so if you go before there, switching the titles at a live event was good build up for the Rumble. Now, if you don't know, Roddy Piper has never won a championship with WWE before this match. This was his. He's had so many opportunities, just could have never won the championship. Um, but when he won, man, that I think that was the biggest pop of the night by the crowd. I mean, that crowd was on fire the entire night. But
Yeah.
seeing Roddy Piper finally capture a WWE championship, it was so special to watch
Yeah.
because like I said, if you look into his career, he had a bunch of championship opportunities, just could never get it. And it also set up a good match at WrestleMania versus Bret Hart.
100%. So, like with this particular match, like what I thought was cool about this one was the fact that like Roddy Piper was biting Mountie and
I
like
could,
just like fucking him up. It wasn't a long match; it was like a 5 minute match. It
yeah,
was entertaining because like I didn't know going into this that the Mountie had won it 2 days before. So that's a big surprise to like sort of switch the title up, so quickly, sort of like back and forth like that. So that's cool that they did that. And funny thing, after the match, Roddy Piper ends up using the shocker on the Mountie, which is the Mountie's weird, like fucking electric
yeah,
thing. Um, but I do think that I do agree with that pop for Roddy Piper. He had humble beginnings working for Portland Wrestling, um, back in the territory days. And like you say, he's a different title shots. He never really won anything. This is the first time he won the Intercontinental title. So it is a big deal, and it does set up for a huge match at WrestleMania 8, which is one of my not one of my favorite matches, but one
it
of my
was a really good match. And another thing I liked about the match, Piper's still competing in the Rumble. He has
yeah.
this was his. He could have had two. He could have had two championships
Mhm.
at
He could have
WrestleMania.
been fucking Roman Reigns back in
I
'92.
know.
Yep.
To that
Man,
night could have
well,
been a huge night for Piper, but it still was.
yep, and he was the first man I think to pull double duty and to do a singles match and then compete in the Rumble later on. So
Yes.
very, very interesting facts here.
I
Okay,
thought that
cool.
was a very good match. That match was, my opinion, the match of
Check
the
that
night.
match out. We don't want to spoil anything for you, so check that one out because it is a good match. I have all the matches on here. We'll cover this match quickly, because this one was fun, but it was more like for like comedic purposes. I have a newfound respect for the Bushwhackers. And I do know, I don't know which one, but one of the Beverly Brothers' son is Von Wagner in NXT, which I didn't know about
Oh, I
until,
didn't know that.
yeah, one of them. I don't know which one it is, but one of their sons is Von. One of the Beverly Brothers' dad. Well, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Von
Yeah,
Wagner is the son of one of the Beverly
I
Brothers.
didn't know
So,
that.
speaking of the Beverly Brothers, they are teaming up with their manager, the genius behind their corner, taking on the Bushwhackers with their manager Jameson, who I don't really know much about. He's sort of like a nerdy, weird character. This is the first time he's on TV. We see him eating an apple. The Bushwhackers lick each other, which is something that they commonly do.
I
Which I mean, I have I don't have a pretty clean face. I don't know, Chris, if I want you to lick my
I
face.
don't know. No, I don't care. I could have you could have the cleanest face in the world. I would never.
What's funny for me is like they're actually really doing it. So
No, I know.
and so you're like, oh, okay,
You can,
like, all right,
I
we're
mean,
probably gonna do
to
this.
be fair, I don't. If they are going to do that for their gimmick, I don't know how you could. do it without actually doing
Doing,
it.
yeah, you're right. It's just really weird. It's like
I know.
I don't understand. Like, and it's like sometimes we're calm, sometimes we're not. It's like strange. But anyways, I do like the Bushwhackers. So Luke Bushwhacker bites Bo Beverly. The Bushwhackers nail a double shoulder tackle to the Beverly brothers. Jameson ends up wiping his nose with his sock. Very cool, I guess. The Bushwhackers send the Beverly brothers into one another, and they nail two double clotheslines. The Beverly brothers nail a combo double axe handle across the ropes. However, Butch gets his foot on the rope during the pinfall attempt. Uh, Bo Beverly nails a knee to the head of Luke. The Genius then slaps Jameson outside, which what an asshole, man.
I know. They're always doing that.
Fuck the
Seems like
Genius.
they're always doing that.
I know. They're always bothering Jameson. Blake Beverly nails a neck breaker. And then the Bushwhackers take control. They nail a battering ram and a double axe handle to Butch, though, by the Beverly Brothers. And the Beverly Brothers get the surprise win. However, I feel like the more story to come was after the match when the Bushwhackers attacked the Beverly Brothers. However, the Bushwhackers then not only attack the Beverlys, they grab a hold of the Genius, and Jameson ends up kicking him in the shin and kicks him to the outside. Afterwards, Jameson puts on the Genius's hat, his sort of cap. So, what do you think?
I mean, I'm a fan of the Bushwhackers. You can't go wrong with their
You
matches.
can't go wrong.
I didn't think I thought I don't see because I didn't think the tag team matches that night were good at all. That was just except the New Foundation, the Orient Express. But I thought this tag team match was it
It
was
took
okay to
too long.
watch.
It was so
It took
long.
too long. There were some things like kicking him in the shin. I just think some things weren't necessary. It didn't really interest me that much. But the Bushwhackers, I know I keep talking about the Bushwhackers specifically, but they really were such an underrated. I know they're Hall of Famers now, but man,
Yeah,
they should have gotten more credit than
yeah.
what they did.
And I didn't know like they were the sheep herders, I think, in Portland too. Because I think what was the name? I don't even know. Was it Portland? I don't know what the fuck it was called. But the territory down in Portland, that's where the sheep herders, Roddy Piper, all those guys sort of got their start. So yes, I do have respect for the Bushwhackers and the
Oh,
Beverly
absolutely.
Brothers. They're kind of just boring. I mean,
Yeah,
they last a bit, but
it's kind
all
of.
right.
I feel like
Good.
maybe it was a match where maybe the Bushwhackers could have maybe put them up because Bushwhackers, they're a name. I mean, so are Beverly Brothers, but
But
maybe
more
I don't
like
know.
you're right though, like compared to like
Yeah,
the Bushwhacker, the Beverly Brothers kind of do deserve this win over it because they're new,
yeah.
kind of like an Austin Theory thing. Shoot his ass up,
No,
shoot him up to the sky. All right, so we're gonna take a really quick break. We're almost at the Royal Rumble match. When we come back, we're gonna be covering the WWF Tag Team titles, the actual Royal Rumble match itself. We have some more facts for you and a lot more stuff. That's Christian. I'm Ant, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
you
What is up, and welcome back. I'm still Ant. That is still Christian.
how's it
And
going?
yes, it's going good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm doing good too, man. And I
Oh
hope
man,
everyone
having a
listening.
fun time.
Dude, we're fucking killing the game. I'm glad that everyone's tuning in. I want to give a quick shout out to where you can check us out. We are available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Anchor, Castbox, wherever you get your podcast. You can check us out. Give us a 5-star rating too. Biatches, come on, do it because you love us and because you know.
5.
By the way, Christian is single, so every lady out here, if you think Christian's good looking and you like that, give us a 5-star rating because I can't. I'm gonna pimp you out because I can't do that because no
Oh
one's gonna
man.
give me a 5-star rating. So I'm gonna use you, Chris.
All right, we'll see. We'll see how
All
many
right.
5-star ratings we get after that one.
Listen, hopefully we get a lot. Also you could check us out on YouTube where you can see Christian's beautiful face and my amazing. Funny fact, and if you're like, no, you know when people say, "Oh, I look like a celebrity," they don't look like them at all. I'm gonna say this, okay? Back in my chubbier days, I swear to you, Kevin Owens, I got that a lot. I went into Rite Aid.
Oh
Someone
my
was like,
God.
someone was like, "Are you a wrestling fan?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're
I
like, "You look
see
like
it
it,
now. I'm sorry.
right?"
No, because I'm looking at you right now when you just smiled, and I'm picturing just a little more.
Just
You really
aside, listen, I have some pictures too. I did a whole fucking thing and I was like, "Yo, KO's the shit, so I'm gonna keep rolling with it." Yeah, I am KO. What about it?
Oh,
Um,
that's awesome.
I
That's a hell of a person to be compared to. Though I would not take that as a
not
offensive
at
at
all.
all.
I'm like his American counterpart, his
I love
doppelganger.
Kevin Owens,
KO's
man.
the fucking bomb.
He is the fucking man.
Christian's the man too. I'm the man, and we're on YouTube. Subscribe, like, hit the notification bell to stay notified when new content is created, which is very fun. So do that. I get it all the time. You just get a little ding to your cell phone, and you just click the link, and you get to see us. Hi. Um. So we are covering the top 20 pay-per-views of all time. We're at Royal Rumble 1992, and we are now at the WWF Tag Team Championships on the line. The Tag Team Champions, the Legion of Doom, defending against the Natural
Ooh,
Disasters
what a
with Jimmy
rush.
Hart. Yeah, what a rush, really.
What a
What
fucking
a fucking
rush.
rush. Um, for me, like LOD, like I didn't really know much about them aside from WWE stuff, but I learned over time they were big in WCW or
Yeah.
NWA, like top tag team there. They really didn't do much in WWE. That's not really their fault. But they are former tag team champions, and I was excited to see their earlier matches in WWE. Natural disasters is obviously Earthquake and Typhoon, two big motherfuckers that I wouldn't fuck with. And they move pretty fast. So
Oh, right.
here are just
Especially
some
Earthquake for his size.
Earthquake. He'd be
For
like,
his size, he moved that match. I
I
was
like the
shocked.
way you move.
I'm surprised he
Yeah,
didn't cause an actual earthquake.
he probably fucking did, and which is why Jimmy Hart. I don't know. I was gonna say something I can't. So he called it an earthquake. You're right. So quick move on. I thought I had a better like quick way. I don't. So Hawk nails a flying clothesline to Typhoon to start. Um, Animal and Earthquake nail a double clothesline, knocking each other out. Animal lifts Earthquake, but Earthquake falls on top of him and gets a two. Typhoon nails a running splash in the corner. Typhoon nails a backbreaker to Hawk. More Typhoon in this match. Typhoon with a bear hug to Hawk now. Uh, and then Earthquake steps on Hawk and he misses a splash in the corner. Animal takes control and nails a shoulder tackle. Shoulder. See, I have a speech impediment. It comes out every now and
Yeah.
then.
No, some words are
Really.
hard.
So then Earthquake slams Animal outside, and Typhoon bear hugs Hawk. And for some reason, the Natural Disasters win by KO after getting in the ring. And after the match, Animal nails Earthquake with a chair shot. And the Natural Disasters are seen backstage, and they say that they are the real tag team champions. So, Christian, what did you think of that match?
So, there was one I didn't like the match. I thought it was not the best tag team match they could have done. Reason being, you have two really big tag teams going against each other. It's very hard to put on a because if example, if you're having Earthquake and no, let's do Legion of Doom. If you're having a Legion of Doom and them tagging and they're fighting against probably let's say featherweights. It's going to be a better match because those lighter people can jump off ropes, they can do move more. So when you're doing two big tag teams that are literally way too much, you can't move them around, you can't pick them up, you can't do as much in a match. So to me, having two big tag teams go against each other and winning via disqualification, it just threw the match off.
Yeah. Especially like for it being the Royal Rumble, like granted in 1992 it wasn't as big as it is now because of the
Yeah.
history of it. But like it was one of the top four pay-per-views. So I thought they would have maybe made the title match a bit more special. But I do agree with you, like they could barely move Typhoon and Earthquake. So it kind of did take a hold. But Earthquake was doing pretty good. But Typhoon, fucking that motherfucker. I mean, we all know who he ended up becoming, the fucking shock master of
Shockmaster.
all time. That's fucking awesome.
No,
I
I know.
Dude, I can watch that and piss my pants every fucking time. And my favorite was I fucking knew it. Someone says like I knew it in the background, and then yeah, because he fucking sucks. Leave it to him. Um,
Oh my.
master moment. Yeah, I agree. I mean, this match was okay. Really didn't do much for me. But again, for 1992, I can kind of appreciate the steel chair was cool.
No, it was.
But speaking of cool, and we're not talking about Carlito here. Corny joke. Wah, wah. So
Spit in the face.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
I like Carlito, man. He was a good
Yeah,
character.
there's a girl that her name is Rosalice, and I like to try to speak Spanish. I can
The
only
the lease part. You like to add that little
yeah,
emphasis at the end. The
Rosalice.
east.
Rosalice. Yes, I do. I do the microphone. It's fun. Okay, sorry, too much about me. We were at the Royal Rumble in 1992, and we're gonna kind of go over this kind of strangely, but just keep going with us. The first competitor out is the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, which I wish I had muscles like him. I don't
I
yet,
know.
but he's a fucking beast, and
No, I know.
he's the first dude out. The second person out is the $1 million man, Ted
Ted
DiBiase.
DiBiase.
Good to see him. Um, and Ted DiBiase actually gets eliminated pretty quickly. British Bulldog clotheslines him out of the match. And as he's walking back to the backstage area, the Nature Boy Ric Flair comes down with Mr. Perfect. And Ric Flair is a former NWA champion. He claims he's a real world champion. However, he's never been WWE champion at this point. So he comes out and gets his ass handed to him by the British Bulldog. Jerry Sags comes out with Jimmy Hart come out. Jerry Sags come out. Bring him out. Bring him out.
Like him out,
Speaking
bring
of,
him out, bring
that's
him
right.
out.
See Christian, come on, man. Boom. Um, so a fun fact about his partner Brian Knobbs, I'm sure you know about this. Brian Knobbs was supposed to be in this match, however, he was stabbed at a house show
Yes, he was.
by a
I
20
remember
year
hearing about that,
Yep,
and that I just can't believe stuff happens like that at a house show.
yeah.
Like recently, Killer Cross Scarlett, she just got a drink thrown at her house shows. I don't know why people just enjoy the show. Don't do all that.
I can't imagine throwing something at Scarlet, but
No,
great.
just doing any of that, like that's just unnecessary. But
Listen, come on, Mama. Scarlet. So Jerry Sags comes out. He really doesn't do much. He's just in there. Haku is next at number 5. This is supposed to be Brian Knobbs' spot, and Haku was his replacement. And Haku wasn't seen since like August of '91 up until that point. So it was like kind of like okay, great. At number 6. Wait, how do we get to number 6 so quick? How the hell? Oh yeah, there we go. We are at number 6. Number 6, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, is out next. I'm excited to see him. He had
I'm
just
excited to see his new look. I believe he was doing a new look at that time too.
yeah,
So it was very excited to see his new look at the Rumble.
he
It
just
was
turned on
good.
Marty Jannetty, man.
Yep. Yep.
It was a big deal. And we'll talk about Marty Jannetty. He was supposed to be in the Royal Rumble, but due to drug issues,
Okay, that I didn't know. Because I also remember like why wasn't he in the Rumble? But I didn't know. So
drug issues, sir, drug
I
issues.
did not know that.
Then we have El Matador, Tito Santana coming out, and he is ready for the match. Good to see him. He goes after Shawn Michaels. Next we have at number 8 the Barbarian, who is angry. Number 9 we have Texas Tornado. He comes in and takes over on Ric Flair, and British Bulldog attacks Shawn Michaels. Number 10 we have the Repo Man. He's out. Very cool to see him. Number 11, we have Greg the Hammer Valentine. And I love the fans. Like, they're like, ooh. Like, when some crappy comes out, they don't fucking
He
shit.
got a pop.
Oh,
He got a
Valentine?
good pop.
Oh, wow.
He had a good pop.
Where you go, Valentine? Good for him. I just thought he sucked, so I just have my own personal view. Sorry. Good luck, Valentine. Number 12, we have Nikolai Volkov,
What a guy.
who was taking the position of Marty Jannetty. He gets eliminated very quickly from the match. Number 13 is the Big Boss Man. Who is this? Who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is that? Oh, okay. Okay, Big Boss Man eliminates the Repo Man. I was like, who the fuck is that? Sorry,
Oh,
I can't even read my notes. Ric Flair then backdrops Bruce Bulldog over the top rope to eliminate him. Texas Tornado is then eliminated. At number 14, we have Hercules coming out. Hercules eliminates the Barbarian, and then Ric Flair eliminates Hercules. Flair then eliminates the Big Boss Man. And then number 15, we have the new Intercontinental Champion, Roddy Piper. He
who's well
runs in,
deserved. Well deserved.
deserved. He comes in and immediately goes after Ric Flair. Ric Flair begs off. Piper ain't playing.
I,
Uh,
I knew, and sorry to cut you off, but
okay.
once Piper went into the Rumble, I knew Ric Flair was the first person he was going after.
He's like, dude, I'm coming for you.
I'm coming for you.
Coming. Number 16, Jake the Snake Roberts. He's in and he's ready to play the game.
He was.
Number 17, we have Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Good to see him. Old school. Yeah, big time. Number 8, and we're not talking about Sonny. Number 18, IRS, Erwin R. Shyster, otherwise known as Bray Wyatt's dad. He comes out and he's involved in the match. Then number 19, Jimmy Superfly Snuka. He's then involved. Number 20, my dude, The Undertaker with Paul Bearer. He comes out. Then number 21, Macho Man Randy Savage. Savage attacks Jake Roberts, nails a double axe handle, and he ends up eliminating Roberts. And Savage ends up jumping over the top rope and attacks Jake Roberts.
Uh Savage eliminating Jake the Snake Roberts. I didn't expect that.
Well, you know,
I didn't think that was gonna happen.
with the whole snake bite situation, and you know, you had to get some kind of revenge there.
Yeah.
Right? But it wasn't. I didn't see that happening.
I didn't see that.
Savage 2 outside and sends him back inside the ring, so he's not eliminated. Number 23, we have the Berserker. I'm sorry, number 22 is Berserker. And
22.
I took my notes here, I kind of just went over who comes in. So we're not going to go over so much about eliminations. Berserker Strange. 23, we have Virgil. You know, he's still selling tickets somewhere.
I know. No one shows up though. I feel so bad.
I know, no one cares. 24, Curl Mustafa with General Adnan, aka the Iron Sheik. Sheiky baby. Number 25, the model Rick Martel. 26, Hulk Hogan. And then we got 27, Skinner. Hulk Hogan ends up clotheslining the Undertaker over the top rope, eliminating him. 28, we have Sergeant Slaughter. Number 29 is Sid Justice. And the final 4, well, the Warlord is in. And he's
amazing final 4, by the way.
Yes, dude.
Amazing final 4.
Amazing. Sid Justice, Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, and Ric Flair.
Amazing final 4.
Amazing, dude. Amazing. Immaculate. Impressive. Awesome.
Sid, I thought Sid, man, he impressed me the most out of me. I know he was probably not the biggest name out of Hogan, Ric Flair, and Macho Man Savage, but Sid Justice did great in that Royal Rumble.
He did. He killed the game.
I thought he was gonna win it.
He came close. He eliminates Randy Savage. He eliminates Hulk Hogan. And then the end comes, like you said, he was almost winning it, but then Hulk ends up pulling Sid, and Ric Flair ends up tossing Sid out. Ric Flair is your new WWF champion. He gives a promo of his lifetime here. Tell me, we're gonna take another quick break in a moment, but tell me your thoughts on that match. I mean, a lot of people say it's the best Royal Rumble match. A quick fact: there were 16 Hall of Famers involved in that match, which is insane to think about.
Wow.
Bobby Heenan pitched the idea of Ric Flair going in at number 1 and lasting an hour, but Vince McMahon tweaked it and made it number 3. And yeah, Ric Flair, another quick note, Ric Flair was the second man to hold the NWA title and the WWE title. The first is Buddy Rogers. Fun fact, well, 2 more fun facts. This is the only Rumble for the Iron Sheik, for Psycho Sid Justice, and for Sergeant Slaughter. They never competed in any others. And the crowd response to Hulk Hogan getting eliminated was edited out when they replayed it throughout time, because he initially got cheered when he got eliminated. Hogan. They didn't really like him. He kind of had this
Yeah,
Cena
he
response.
wasn't. Yeah.
So when Sid eliminated him, the fans were cheering, but Sid's a bad guy. So when they put it on TV, they edited out the cheers and made it boo.
Oh,
So
okay.
random facts, but quick thought, and then we'll cover more when we come back. What's your quick thought on that main event?
So if you before the main event, if you before the pay-per-view starts, they show you who's going to be in the Royal Rumble. They tell you all 30 men going to be in the Royal Rumble. So off the back, it it you already know it's going to be a hell of a Royal Rumble. My favorite thing about the whole thing, and again, I know I keep talking about Roddy Piper, but he just came off a match winning the Intercontinental Championship, winning his first title in WWE, and then he goes out there in the Royal Rumble, kicks ass. Also, I feel like WWE should do this. Maybe they shouldn't. I don't know. But to me, vacating the WWF Championship back then before the Rumble it made the Rumble more watchable. And especially, like I said, I thought Sid Justice was going to win a WWE Championship. Because if I'm being honest, I thought he was in WCW
Yep, he was
before that.
prior to this. He was.
Exactly.
So
So
you
he
already
just came
have
from
a name. Yep,
WCW, so he had a name. I was very shocked when he didn't win. Overall, one of the best Royal Rumbles of all time. Match card is insane. Howard Finkel announcing it in the beginning just makes it better because he is the best ring announcer of all
sure
time.
is.
Um,
I
I
thought
do.
Lillian Garcia was.
No, you got it.
I'm
Maybe
joking.
female,
I'm joking.
female,
Go
but
ahead.
no, that new Samantha Irvin girl's really good. But
Ooh,
overall,
let me tell you something. I got a good video of her from the behind. Ooh. I get Ricochet. Ooh,
I know, right?
go ahead.
But overall, Royal Rumble in 1992, great Royal Rumble, match card stacked. Ric Flair winning the Royal Rumble sets up a good match versus Hogan at WrestleMania. So, and
Sick.
all that match was sick as well. So, I think the 1992 Royal Rumble.
And welcome back. Again, I'm you can
I'm
introduce.
Christian.
That's Christian, and he is a Christian, but he is not like Christian, Christian Cage. You know,
I
he's a
wish I
bit
was Christian Cage.
Christian Cage is bomb, but you're a bit more like for the fans, like I'm fucking cool. The listeners who can't see Christian, Christian's a bit more darker tone than Christian Cage. Christian Cage is a bit more like me, like super white and fucking like hi, like Casper. You barely see me. I just like even fade into the back. Um,
I mean, I'm for being Hispanic, I'm more on the whiter side to be honest.
but yeah, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's cool. Hey, you know what? Boricua, baby. Do it
Oh
up.
yeah.
Boricua, baby. Boricua. Come on,
That's
come
a
on, come on. Boricua. Yo, I fucking listen to all kinds of Spanish music. Don't
Oh,
put
I
this
love it,
on
dude.
Spanish
I
music.
you know how there's a trend going on where since it's the end of the year you can see on Spotify and Apple Music your most played
Yep.
I have 835 minutes on Bad Bunny. He was my number one artist of 2023
Bad
or
Bunny. Dude,
2022.
there's a couple of songs I like by Bad Bunny. My friend actually got to go see him in Miami. Yep.
My aunt got to go see him, man. It was awesome. She
Bad
said
Bunny's
she
a
had
fucking
such a good
bomb,
time.
man.
He's
What's this
awesome.
song? Let me pull it up quick. Now that you said, I know we're covering Royal Rumble. We're on Sense of Wrestling podcast, and you're listening to us, so keep on dealing with it. Okay. Where are we? Let me look him up. Bad Bunny, because I have a couple of songs that are by
No,
him and
he's
my like.
awesome, man. And the thing is, like, you're full Italian, and I was just having this conversation with my dad yesterday because he doesn't really like Bad Bunny
Yep.
because of the things he talks about. But every single race likes Bad Bunny. He did a show in like another country that wasn't even a Spanish country and a stadium packed and everyone was singing the words. I think it was like a Muslim country, like a Middle Eastern country
A
and
Muslim country.
a Middle Eastern country and they were all singing along. Like they all knew the
Yeah.
words. Like
He's
he's
worldwide.
he's worldwide.
I like a song.
Shout out
Okay.
to the Middle Eastern people out there.
There's a couple of people I like, all right. So I like obviously Con Calma. Ooh, that's not Con Calma, that's Extension, who's the bomb too. Con Calma, Daddy Yankee, obviously.
I love Daddy Yankee.
Bailar, um, Pitbull and Elvis Crespo. El
Rich
Perdón by Nicky
El
Jam and Enrique Iglesias. Um, Obviously Danza Kudor. How do you say it? I can't pronounce. Danza Wera. It's anyways. Okay. How
Oh
about
yeah, yeah.
there's also who else do I like quick? Hang on. I'll tell you the
Prince
song.
Rory's is really good.
Prince Royce, yes. J Balvin,
J
Ay
Balvin's
Vamos.
really good. Yes.
Maluma, Corazon. I like China by Anuel AA, Daddy Yankee. Come on, China. You know that one?
I like your music taste, man. I love it.
China.
I freaking love it.
Bad Bunny, La Difficile.
That's
MIA by Bad Bunny with Drake. Dude,
I think Drake shouldn't have been on the song, but
I get it. But I still jammed. I still got down boogie
it
woogie.
was no, I love your taste in music, Anthony.
I do my list.
Everyone go show Anthony some love because he's awesome.
Dude, you're fucking awesome. Bachata, bitch. How about this song? This is my favorite song of all fucking time. And fuck you if you're gonna try to cut me off YouTube or anybody. Where are we? Here we go. You know this one? You're young, so you should know this one. It's corn, a big chunk now. It has a juice. Sorry, it's a little boy.
I might be a little too young.
Okay, so this boy, he is on this guy named Recess Therapy. He's on Instagram. He interviews kids and he asks them questions. And so he asked this little boy, "What do you know about corn?" And the kid's like, "It's corn. It's a big lump of knobs. It has a juice." He's like, "When I tried it with butter, everything changed." And like he was really into this, and they ended up turning it into like a fucking song. And like he's now like, so I work with kids, so I thought it was funny because he's a little boy. It has a juice. Yeah, sorry. All right, we have the juice too. So you're fine. You were just talking about your thoughts on the pay-per-view before we were super interrupted by that bitch Shirley who cuts us off all the time. So go ahead, sir. You can finish your sentence. Fuck you, Shirley.
Fuck you, Shirley. The only thing I wanted to say, my sentence was, I thought the 1992 pay-per-view was a success. Again, you look at the match card, you already know it's going to be a hell of a show. Flair winning it, not just winning it, but him also winning the championship just meant a whole lot more because, like I said, set up a good match at WrestleMania. So overall, I thought the 1992 Royal Rumble was a success. I would rate it a solid 8 out of 10, only because I thought the tag team match card looks good, but they could have been better, especially
I
the tag team
agree.
championship match.
I agree. See, you're nice. I'm giving it like a 7. I'm gonna be a scumbag piece of shit. And by the way, I see Ric Flair. Hello, sir. He was about to take a little break for a moment in the back there. And I see Hulk Hogan. I see Virgil. Okay, I see Taker. I see the model with Martel.
Taker's whooping that ass.
Taker's whooping that ass. And Ric Flair's like, come on, daddy.
He's in the corner right there.
That's right. Hulk's about to say, come on, man.
Look at that fan up here with the Hogan foam finger. Hogan's number 1.
Where's that?
Right here.
And Hogan's about like, look at his grimace. He's like, yo, hit me, daddy, hard. Boom. Yeah, he's getting prepared to take a fucking whopper.
Oh my god.
Callaway. Very fun. See, if you don't watch us live, then you don't get to see all that fun stuff. It's great to hear us, but seeing us is fun too.
Seeing us is better. You get to see the faces.
Yes, and we're beautiful, so why not? So here's the thing. Here's the thing. We thought it out, friends. It was good. I'll pretend. Okay. So that's my like little Indian version. Ooh, be careful. So we live in a censored world, but we're uncensored.
It's the Uncensored Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah, dude. Boom. High five. He graduated high school, y'all. Woo. Yeah. Again, boom. There we go. Yes. All right. So, I give it a 7 out of 10. I agree. Like the matches were pretty good. The match that pretty much stole the show was a Rumble, but Roddy Piper came to a close second. I was happy to see.
Yeah.
Him. But yeah, it was okay. I see why it was number 20 and not any higher. Obviously, it's significant because of Ric Flair's win and for the amount of time he spent in the match, the amount of Hall of Famers involved. It was a decent show.
16 out of 30 Hall of Famers is really crazy to think about.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So I suggest you all check out this pay-per-view.
Especially if you're my age. Especially if you're my age, around 2018. It's really, if you haven't seen old wrestling, I haven't seen too much of the early 90s wrestling, but it was a really good to do my recap on this because it was a fresh eye. So if you're my age, especially, I definitely recommend this.
I agree, man. I agree. I think that even if you haven't seen it, if you have, it's still good to rewatch. This one, number 19. is, do I have it here? Yeah, I do.
What's the next one?
All right. Are you ready, sir?
What is our
This
next
one
review? What's the next pay-per-view?
is from my era, so I'm happy. We're moving up ahead. Number 19 is WWF SummerSlam 2000. So we have
Woo!
some of the matches there. The TLC match is probably the one that sold the show, the first ever TLC match. We have the hardcore title match between Shane McMahon and Steve Blackman, Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit in a 2 out of 3 falls match. This,
Are we gonna get canceled for saying that name?
fuck it, I'm saying Chris Benoit. Chris
Because
Benoit,
it's the uncensored podcast, and Chris
thank you,
Benoit
sir.
is the greatest technical wrestler of all time. I don't care if I
He is,
always
and you know what? I
say
can separate the character, the wrestler, from the person. Chris
exactly,
Benoit is the,
exactly.
and I cover his matches. So boom. Uh,
Yes, and I will say more about that when that time
yes.
comes.
We then have the special distinct face thong match. I mean, that might bring people here. The Cat versus Terry, Undertaker versus Kane, and obviously the main event, the
Main
WWE
event.
Championship, The Rock versus Triple H.
That
The
was
third
a
angle.
banger. I cannot wait to
Banger.
talk about that one.
Dude, and the storyline going into it with Stephanie, and like I just remember the opening video. We'll talk about this when we get to it. It's like an opera kind of thing. It's interesting. It's cool. The
It's
way they did it
awesome,
back then,
man.
it's sick. So join us for that. Hopefully, maybe like next week. That one will drop. We'll talk and figure it out, but that will be dropping soon. But yeah, thank you for joining us. I almost called you Tyler. Hi. I'm so used to talking Tyler. Tyler's not
No,
here.
I completely understand.
The only commonality you and Tyler is you both have glasses. I mean, other than that, fun
I can't see
story.
without him.
My coworker came into work one day, and I was like, she had dyed her hair. And I said to my other coworker, I'm like, oh, she had white hair today. And they're like, yeah, her hair is red. I'm like, oh. So I think I might be becoming colorblind. I'm starting to like see things differently. So I think but no, Christian, thank you for coming on.
No,
This
thank you
is
for having me, man. I really appreciate it. This was awesome. I can't
You're
wait
the
to do it again.
bomb. We're
I
gonna
can't wait
keep
to do it
doing
again.
it. We're gonna keep on doing this. Number 19, he's gonna be joining us for AEW recaps, pay-per-view prediction.
MJF's on right now with Regal, and him and Regal are
Oh,
giving each other a big hug right now. So I cannot
oh,
wait to give my thoughts on AEW. But until
I'm
then,
excited. Yes, until then, we're gonna sign off. Thank you guys for listening to us. Be safe, have a good night, and we hope you enjoy Royal Rumble Night 92. We'll see you next time. Bye. Bye, y'all.